So if anyone's interested in the Hyundai Tucson, feel free to put a comment down below. Half joking, I'm half serious. I think I would take. Welcome back to another episode of Bro Premier, guys. If you are new to the channel and you like seeing cars go from being worth $500 to $5,000 in a short amount of time, then you're in the right place. Make sure to go down, hit the subscribe button, and make sure to click the notification bell. This way you get alerted when I put out 2 a week. If you're not new to the channel, then you know that previously we've been working on my 2005 Hyundai Tucson. That at this point, I'm pretty much at the point of calling it Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law says that if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. That is this Hyundai. This thing is driving me nuts. If you're new to the channel, then what you don't know is previously I've done the paint on this thing, it was destroyed. I've done the struts on this thing, didn't know I needed them. I've done the timing chain on this thing, I knew it needed that. I've done the head gasket on this thing, didn't know it needed that again. I've had to find a door that I couldn't find in the junkyards because there wasn't enough Tucsons in the junkyards yet. It's just been one little thing after the next. Every time I think the car's done, there's an issue. Last episode was the power steering issue and the brake issue. Brakes work, but there's one that's not working at all. It's not engaging. So now we are at that point, trying to fix the ABS module that controls that rear driver brake. But before I do that, I still need tires. I knew it needed tires, but since I bought this car, there's been a whole markup in tires across, I think, the country. There's a giant lawsuit going on. You can research it a bit, but basically all tires went up. So I finally got some used ones from the junkyard for about 50 bucks. I'm about to go put those on. So what I would like to do right now is actually go get those put on so I can empty out the car and finally have an empty car from now on. There should be no reason to put anything inside the car anymore. I can start doing the interior. But what I want to do is go get the tires put on and then come back and start taking out the ABS module because I think I found a way to fix it. I do believe it's a stuck valve. I see that's pretty common, not necessarily in Hyundais, but just across ABS modules. It tends to happen. One stuck valve does happen, and it tends to have a little rusty particle stuck in the valve that causes the issue. That's pretty much what I believe happened here. When I did bleed the little bit of fluid that was left in the brake caliper in the rear driver's side, like a milky fluid came out that was kind of watery based. So I'm guessing there was a little rust. Now the caliper moves pretty freely, but I'm guessing there's some water in that line. Who knows how long it's been there, how long this has been an issue, but there's no pressure going to that line. So I'm assuming some of that fluid from somewhere got stuck in the little valve that controls pressure to that wheel and just seized that valve. So if I can get in there with some compressed air, some rubbing alcohol, might find some denature alcohol. If I'm out and about and I see a hardware store, I'll grab that. But if not, I'll grab some rubbing alcohol, shoot it through there, probably put like 60 to 100 PSI of air in there with the alcohol, hopefully get this thing to clear up. After I get it cleared up, I'm gonna have to bleed the brakes again. It's okay, kind of knew that was coming. For those of you that watched last episode, I was trying to do it the electronic way through the computers. I found that other diagnostic port, but it turns out every wire that goes to the ABS module is only to control the ABS sensors and the power to the module. So there's no way to select each power to each solenoid through the module connector. The only way to do that is to take apart the module and start messing on the motherboard trying to get power somewhere there. I don't really want to do that. So I think the only way to do this correctly is to disassemble it, clean that valve body, try to put it back in. That's my goal. But for right now, like I said, I want to run to the tire store, get these things put on, finally have some fresh tires on this thing. Let's get at it. right guys, I am back from getting the tires on. The car drives so much better already. It's amazing what some nice tread and a good balance on tires can do to the drivability of a car. Really happy I was able to get these tires. The fact that I paid 50 bucks for them, I still can't believe it. They're probably about 80-90% good tread still on them. And just from going to get these things put on, I saw that these things have better tread than most of the tires that were there. So I'm very content with the fact that I went and got my own tires, made sure that they were made in a good year, which was last year, halfway through the year. So they're fairly brand new, have a lot of life left on them. I'm not worried about dry rotting or anything of the sort. So I'm really stoked. I do think the next time I'm going to try to get this like balancing thing that they have at Harbor Freight. It's like 80 bucks. You try to balance your own tires using old school leveling, just literally on the side of the road. So you can pick that up and it's supposed to be good up until about 80. I think with my OCD-ness, I should be able to get around 90. But I do want to try it out. I think it's like 80 bucks for the system and then it's like 4 bucks for the weights. I basically just paid $70 to have this done. So it'll pay itself off in 2 times. I already have tools to remove the tires and put them on. So really it would just be the balancing that's left. So I think I'm gonna try that probably in the near future, maybe even on the Explorer, because these tires are all kind of shot and dry rotted. I need to do these eventually. Had I learned that people get multiple tires at a time, even though you're only supposed to get 4 this past weekend, I would have got them for the Explorer. I just didn't know that that was kind of the deal that they were doing. Anyway, after driving this thing, I'm realizing one, it doesn't have that much power, which I'm kind of used to with the 2.0s. They are a little weak, they're not that strong, but they should have a little get up and go when you need it, and this one doesn't feel it. So I do want to do the seafoam trick that I'm sure some of you have already seen me do. I'm not going to do it yet though, because I think almost all my modules are almost clear. I want to get them clear, get this thing smogged before having to wait a couple of days, weeks to finally get it to clear. So if they're almost cleared, I want to go get the smog done. Then I'll probably try to clean up the engine with some of the seafoam. But anyway, before I do any of that, what I want to do right now is I want to remove that ABS module. I'm almost positive it's just a stuck valve, probably with a little bit of rust in there that's holding up, putting pressure on this back brake. So I'm going to take this thing out, bring it downstairs, try to clean it up with some rubbing alcohol. I'm gonna get after it. See you guys in a bit. All right guys, it is the next day. I think I showed you, I kept trying to blow compressed air through those valves on the ABS module. Kept getting them confused which side I needed to work on, but the one that was broken, I was finally able to get a little bit of air through that clogged valve that goes to the rear driver's side brake caliper. Tiny bit of air going one way, but not air going the other. There's dual valves, one to let fluid out and one to control fluid coming back in, at least from what I'm understanding through the shop manual. So I was able to get the pressure to go one way a little bit, but none whatsoever going back the other way. So my next thought is I want to take apart the little computer controller and see if there's actually a computer chip on top of it, or if it's just wiring for the coils. If it's just wiring for the coils, then I want to put the coil pack back on here without that cover on, and then try to run 12 volts against each one of those coils. If I can do that and I can find the valve that's not clicking, then I know which one I have to keep working and kind of keep putting brake clean in and hopefully getting it out. I don't even think brake clean's a good substance because it can still leave some moisture. I might be doing more damage than good. I don't really know yet. Gonna find that out probably right now. But basically, if you can see, there's a bunch of little valves, and basically the coils go around each one of those. As soon as it gets turned on, it pulls out the valve or open the valve and lets the fluid through. Unfortunately, this is like a sealed aluminum block and these valves are compressed in. So you can't really do it mechanically. You have to do it by using electricity to open these valves. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Go outside, try to hook this thing up and try to get power across and figure out which one of these things is stuck. So that's my goal. See you in a bit. All right guys, that was an epic fail yet again. I think I'm gonna have to go to the junkyard and try to get a replacement. I was going to take this apart, but after starting to attempt it, this whole thing is sealed with either a glue or some type of sealant, which kind of leaves us at a dry space of what to do now. I got about 2 hours left in the day before everything's done in this video and I have to start editing. So I figured I'm gonna try to align the tires at home. So anyway, I'm gonna grab some string, set up some jack stands, tie off some string to the jack stands, and start attempting this thing. So I'm gonna get after it. See you guys in a bit. All right guys, I think I got it. Well, mostly. This wheel went on pretty dang good. At first I overdid it. I didn't realize that my steering wheel had turned, so I had to come back, correct it. I don't think I showed you guys the correction, but basically I just had to correct it. And the point is to try to get basically the edge of these wheels to just barely touch this string as you line up. So pretty good. It might be like 1/1000th of an inch off, like it's probably a little bit off. This one, unfortunately, was the only one I couldn't get perfect. I don't even know if you guys can see this, just the little bit of gap that's there. This one I could not get the rod and the nuts to break loose. I don't have the exact wrench size, and I tried using an adjustable wrench and just kept stripping around. So anyway, came over here. This one I was able to get dead on. I'm very happy about. And then the front I was able to get dead on as well. So I think the steering should be way better. It was very jerky left to right. If it is cambered out just a slight bit, it should kind of help with that jerkiness, I believe. Yeah, it should. But just the fact that the toes are no longer out or in should decrease all the body roll from one side to the other. The next episode, I don't think is going to be a Hyundai episode. I think we're going to take a break. I think what it's going to be is kind of just from beginning to end, 1 year of me flipping cars full time. So yeah, until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Later, guys.